something happened behind the scenes that could completely change the course of the season. A discreet financial move with major implications, the kind that usually signals something much bigger is coming. It's not the kind of news that makes headlines immediately, but once you understand what it means, it could be the moment everything changes. Let's break it down. So hit the like button and join me. The Browns have just made a bold financial move that could shake up the rest of their season and possibly their future. Denzel Ward's contract has officially been restructured. The front office has converted $12.2 million of his $13.5 million 2025 base salary into a signing bonus, effectively giving Cleveland nearly $18 million in cap space. That puts them at 13th in the NFL for available cap. And with Ward now earning just $1.25 million in base salary next season, the Browns suddenly have more flexibility than they've had in a long time. But the question that's got fans buzzing, what exactly are they planning to do with all this newfound room? Let's be honest, this move isn't happening in a vacuum. Cleveland is still dealing with the massive financial weight of Deshaun Watson's $200 million guaranteed contract, one that's become a cautionary tale across the league. But this restructuring of Ward's deal? It could mean the Browns are gearing up to make something happen, something big. Let's talk possibilities, because that's what's really driving the conversation right now. Are the Browns preparing for a splashy acquisition? Maybe a wide receiver to fix the drop issues we saw against the Bengals? Maybe a corner to finally lock in that CB3 spot behind Ward and Greg Newsome? Or even another linebacker to support Carson Swissinger, who's been an absolute revelation on defense. Let's not forget, J.K. is likely out until 2026. So the linebacker room could definitely use reinforcements. The offensive line is also dealing with injuries. Jack Conklin is still progressing from that eye poke, and although it's not considered serious, Cleveland can't afford more bad luck up front. The Browns have had brutal O-line injury luck for years, and they might be looking to shore that up now that they can afford to. And then there's the running back situation. Jerome Ford had a dismal outing against the Bengals, 8 yards on 6 carries. One fan pointed out he had just 8 more yards than Judkins, who didn't even play. With Sampson getting most of the carries and Judkins expected back soon, Ford could be on the chopping block. Trade bait? Maybe. Cap casualty? Possibly. Either way, don't be surprised if Cleveland uses that extra space to move on from Ford and invest in a back who can actually produce. All of this seems to add up to one clear signal: the Browns think they can contend. Week 1's narrow loss to the Bengals showed potential, especially on defense. They held Cincinnati to just 7 yards in the second half. Jamar Chase had 2 catches. That's elite-level defense, folks. Cleveland knows they've got a foundation, and now, with some extra cap wiggle room, they might be ready to build something real on top of it. But let's pivot to the more emotional side of this. Because there's another theory floating around that could make Browns fans sick to their stomachs. What if Denzel Ward is being prepared for a trade? Yes, Ward signed a massive extension. Yes, he's one of the best corners in the league. But he's also pushing 30. He's had injuries. And with that contract size, there are teams out there, teams making real Super Bowl pushes, who would love to have a player like Ward anchoring their secondary. Eagles fans in particular have been loud on social media. Scroll through X right now and you'll see the posts. Ward to Philly, how he's doing it again, Ward in midnight green. The chatter is real. Is it rooted in fact? That's another story. If Cleveland were to trade Ward, it would be a disaster. Not just from a personnel standpoint, but from a locker room perspective. Remember, they just paid Myles Garrett a massive deal after he requested a trade. You think he's going to be happy watching his defensive partner walk out the door? Ward and Garrett are the cornerstones of this defense. Shipping Ward would scream rebuild. It would be a betrayal of everything this team is trying to build. That move would absolutely get the secondary, and probably the fan base too. Because here's the truth, Ward is still elite. Look at what he did to Jamar Chase. 2 catches. 2. That's unheard of. You don't let go of a player like that unless you've lost the plot. More likely, this restructuring is about the long game. Rolling over that cap space into 2026 when the Browns will need it the most. Because in case you haven't seen the numbers, they've got 27 potential free agents hitting the market in 2026. That's over half the roster. And we're not talking backups and role players. We're talking core guys: Joel Bitonio, Wyatt Teller, David Njoku, Greg Newsome, Ethan Posick, even Joe Flacco if he plays well this year. The Browns are already thinking ahead. They've learned from past mistakes, looking at you, Deshaun, and now they're positioning themselves to keep this core intact. Ward's contract runs through 2027, so they've got time. But they want to see a full, healthy season before they even think about another extension. So if this is about rolling cap into next year to keep their best players in Cleveland, it might be the smartest move this front office has made in a long time. What do you think, Browns fans? Is this cap space for a splash move now, or a smart investment in the future? Let me know what you think below. Because if we're being honest, this might be the most pivotal financial moment for the Browns in years. Think about the timing. This isn't an off-season restructure. This is happening right after week 1, after a gritty defensive showing that gave us a glimpse of what this team could be. The front office doesn't make a move like this unless they see something worth building on, something worth protecting. Whether that's locking in the current core for years to come or grabbing a playmaker mid-season, the implications are clear. Cleveland is not sitting still. And if we look at the performance from that Bengals game again, it's hard not to believe in the potential. The defense was suffocating. Swissinger played like a veteran. Greg Newsome held his ground. Even without Martin Emerson Jr., this unit looked legit. Now imagine adding another high-level piece to that puzzle. Maybe it's a WR who can stretch the field and take pressure off Judy. Maybe it's another corner to lock down the nickel. Or maybe it's even an offensive lineman to finally give Watson some consistent protection, if and when he actually gets back on the field. Let's not ignore the reality that Deshaun Watson's contract has handicapped this team financially since day one. It's the reason this restructure even had to happen in the first place. But this Denzel Ward move shows that the Browns are done letting the past dictate the future. They're trying to maneuver through the damage, making surgical financial decisions to stay competitive. It's a quiet rebuild, not of players, but of the cap sheet itself. And let's talk about the emotional investment in Ward. This is a player drafted by Cleveland, developed in Cleveland, and made great in Cleveland. Trading him would signal more than just a change in defensive strategy. It would send a message to the locker room that nobody's spot is safe, no matter how elite you are. That's not the kind of instability this team can afford. You keep a cornerstone like Ward unless you're planning to blow it all up. And based on the restructure, based on the cap space created, based on the upcoming free agents and the competitive defense we've seen, this is not a team planning to blow anything up. So now, with $18 million in cap space and the defense already showing flashes of dominance, the Browns are sitting in an incredibly strategic position. They can wait and see how this team develops over the next few games and make a move at the trade deadline, or they can choose to sit tight, roll that cap over, and prepare for the offseason war chest of contract negotiations that's coming. Cleveland has options now. That's the key takeaway. And for the first time in a while, those options don't feel like desperate reactions. They feel like proactive, measured steps. The kind of steps a smart front office takes when it actually believes in what it's building. So Browns fans, do you think this Denzel Ward restructure is about a win-now move, or is it all about 2026 and beyond? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to the channel to stay well informed. FO Browns!